It's thought this impressive pile of granite rocks was the inspiration behind an infamous fictional detective novel. But whose book was it? And where am I? Find out in just a moment. On today's show, our buyer has enlisted a friend to help her find a home with unconventional living space that will inspire her creative nature.
I think it's fantastic. It's ready to move into. OK, I'll help you pack.
And at times it proves to be quite a moving experience.
It feels great. Yeah, really nice.
I can hear the emotion.
Today I'm in Devon in the heart of the Dartmoor National Park, and this spectacular stone outcrop is called Hound Tor. Now, Dartmoor is a place that's rich in myth and mystery, and legend has it that these rocks were named after dogs that had been turned to stone by witches. In fact, many people in this area believe this place is still haunted, and they go out of their way to avoid it. And no doubt, adding fuel to the fire, this is a spot that is believed to have inspired Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's most famous Sherlock Holmes adventure, The Hound of the Baskervilles. But putting eerie tales aside for a moment, there are still plenty of inspiring views to be had in this county.
Situated in the southwest of England, Devon is bordered by Somerset, Cornwall and Dorset. A huge part of the county's allure is its exceptional coastline, which encompasses some of England's first natural World Heritage Site, the Jurassic Coast. A charming gateway to these towering 200-million-year-old cliffs is Seaton, which, during Victorian times, developed into one of Devon's most popular holiday resorts. A big attraction here today is its fleet of half-scale heritage trams. Inland is the sombre beauty of Dartmoor, a protected national park since 1951 and one of the largest, most unspoiled areas of wilderness in England. Within the park's borders are some appealing settlements, including Moreton Hampstead, whose creative community makes colourful banners for an annual flag festival that brightens the town each winter. Genteel villages, moody moors and stunning beaches, it's this rich variety that gives the county such an enduring appeal. Devon's stunning coastline brings with it one of the warmest maritime climates of all the UK's coastal regions, which could be a contributing factor to the price of a detached home here, which comes in just over £26,000 above the national average. But of course, there's also highly desirable pockets that are going to cost you just that little bit more. If you go to the most southerly point of the region, which boasts beautiful beaches, charming villages and part of the Dartmoor National Park, you can expect to pay 35% more than the rest of the county. So let's find out which part of Devon today's buyer wants to move to. It's time to meet her. A world away from the tranquil Devon countryside, current home for tech-savvy social business consultant Anne is Bow, in the heart of East London. She's loved living in this converted match factory where she has a hip, loft-style apartment that she's owned for 20 years. But recently, she's been feeling drawn towards a simpler lifestyle that's closer to nature, which she feels will help inspire and nourish her creative spirit.
London has always been the epicentre of where the thinking is, and that's actually not necessarily true anymore. You don't have to be in the biggest, shiniest place for cool stuff to be happening.
Helping out with her search for a new home is Amanda, one of her dearest friends, who she's known for more than 30 years.
My role in this is to be about being supportive and probably seeing things from a slightly different viewpoint.
So I think if I go off on one and go, oh, this is amazing, I've got to move there tomorrow, she'll say, well, just that, actually, just think it through.
Not long after they met, their relationship was cemented when Amanda entrusted Anne with quite a responsible task.
Amanda was getting married and I was doing fashion at St Martin's at the time, and she asked me if I'd make her dress, which was a huge honour and also more than nerve-wracking.
It was really beautiful and unique, and I've still got it. What can I tell you about Anne? She is a fabulous friend. She is loyal, she is caring, she is deeply, deeply sensitive, and she's adorable, and I love her to bits.
Anne, who has a background in arts and digital media, set up her own business 10 years ago that assesses how technology and social media can revitalise companies. And because most of her work is done online, she can pretty much move anywhere, but her heart is set on Devon.
There's a great culture there, and there's a lot of independent and quite progressive thinking, which appeals to me. And things like, you know, farmers markets or nice little tight communities of people doing interesting stuff.
Anne loves the way her apartment's open plan layout gives her flexible space to pursue some of the creative projects she enjoys doing in her spare time. But that's not the only aspect of her home that she's particularly attached to.
Living here, there is a gym 5 floors down from where I am now. So I can just nip down in the lift and I'm in a jacuzzi in minutes. And in an ideal world, I'd have something which is equally convenient, but in the countryside.
Although Amanda, who lives in North London, will miss Anne when she moves, she's already envisaging relaxing weekend visits with her in Devon, and she knows that the change will do her friend good.
I think that being in the country will allow her to breathe more. I mean, she doesn't access her off button very easily, and I have a feeling that because she's communes quite well with nature, I think that it will naturally invite her to access her off button more than she does now.
Well said.
Thank you.
The town of Totnes appeals to Anne, and she has friends in the area around it, so we're focusing our search within an hour's drive of the town. I'm catching up with them to learn some more about Anne's move.
Well, Anne and Amanda, welcome to Devon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So what are you hoping to get from a new life in Devon?
I think the ability to just try new places, see friends, and just a new vista on life that I haven't really had before.
Sounds wonderful. What are you thinking, Amanda?
I'm quite jealous, actually.
So let's talk about the property that we're going to find you. What ideally are you after?
Well, if I could take where I live now and transplant it here, I probably would do that. It would be lovely to have a bit more space, but the open plan, unconventional, lots of light, lots of views, that would be my ideal.
So looking for something quirky, a little bit unusual. Are we talking houses? Are we talking barns?
I think we're probably barns more than houses. If you were to show me a pokey room, I would probably run in the opposite direction. Ditto with thatch. I'm not really the chocolate box country type person.
And how many bedrooms?
Well, I've got 2 bedrooms now, and it would be quite nice to have a little bit more space than I have. But 2 or 3 would be perfect for me.
Got to remember, Amanda's going to be finding
Absolutely,
this.
for guests.
Yes, she needs her own bedroom, doesn't she?
Absolutely.
Limited outside space? We're not looking for acres, I'm presuming?
Not acres, though. Something which would be nice to enjoy in the summer, a little bit of gardening.
Remind us of your budget again.
It's £400,000. If it was less than that, that would be brilliant because it just gives me more flexibility, but that's my sort of golden figure.
Well, we've got 3 properties lined up to show you. The first one is just literally begging to be seen. So, should we finish our coffee and get going?
Yes.
With a budget of £400,000, Anne is hoping to find a home that offers the open plan living of her current apartment, but with a gorgeous rural setting and views. She'd like 2 to 3 bedrooms and flexible living space where she can both relax and work. Outside, she's keen to have a manageable garden to potter in, and ideally would love to be within easy reach of a gym. We've got a wonderful variety of homes to show them, and at each one I'll be getting them to guess at the price before I reveal it to them. One will be the mystery house, which has a stately home connection that could leave Anne feeling like the lady of the manor. We begin our search in the village of Harberton Ford, a 5-minute drive from the town of Totnes. This quiet settlement lies in the valley of the River Harborne, a branch of the Dart that once served a string of watermills. There aren't masses of amenities here, but there is an excellent village shop, which is just a short stroll from the house we're about to have a look at.
So welcome to Harberton Ford and our first property.
I do like that colour yellow.
Well, that's a good start. What do you think about the actual property itself on first impressions?
It's quite big. It's bigger than I thought it might be, actually.
The cottage itself dates back about 200 years.
Right.
We are attached at the back. So I am going to say to you now, there isn't a back garden as such.
Right, OK.
But
There are some wonderful walks behind the cottage and we are surrounded by them.
OK.
Should we get started, ladies?
Yes.
OK.
Earlier on in its history, the cottage was thatched, but fortunately for Anne, this was replaced with slate roofing. And in the 19th century, it was home to the village carpenter.
So welcome to your cottage. I'm going to start us off in the sitting room.
I like this room.
You gasped.
I did.
Why did you gasp?
Because it's light and bright.
It's deceiving, isn't it?
It is.
You get a good impression of space in this room, more than you would think from outside.
What you probably don't have in London is a little conservatory that we can just see there.
Yes.
Your sunroom for your morning cup of coffee when you decide to get creative.
That sounds very nice.
Let's take you through. I'm going to show you the kitchen next.
OK.
So, equally a good size.
It is, yes.
Are all the facilities in the kitchen? Washer,
Yes. This is it. There's no separate utility room with the cottage.
OK.
I'm thinking, you know, you about taking up your hobbies. I could see you sewing here, looking out of your window.
Yes, I could too. A lot of pattern cutting could happen on that table.
Is it winning us over?
I think there's a few question marks about the age and maintenance and versatility at the moment. I just want to sort of think about that. But it's a nice, airy house.
OK, right, follow me. We're going to head upstairs.
On the first floor, there's a landing that's lined with bookshelves, and off that, there's a family bathroom. There are also 3 good-sized bedrooms. One has an attractive feature wall of exposed Devon stone, and another has a built-in platform bed and views across the village and surrounding countryside. We're going to take a look at the largest of the 3 bedrooms, which is on the other side of the landing.
And this at the moment is the master bedroom.
This is a nice room.
It's lovely.
It's full of character.
Again, surprised at the size.
Yes.
The brief was light and airy and spacious, and I think what we've done with this cottage, you've got the character of a cottage, but it is unusual, it's so broad.
Yes. Very summery, very light.
But cosy in the winter.
Yeah.
We're going to go back outside. We're going to take a look at the property. I'm also going to ask you, for the first time, what you think it's on the market for.
OK.
Being attached, the outside space here is limited and it's confined to the front of the property, so definitely no room for a home gym. But a short drive away in Dartmouth, there are plenty of leisure facilities that Anne could take full advantage of.
Now, I'm going to highlight the country vista behind us, that view, because I can't give you a garden, I'm afraid. So, I hope you like your pots.
I do. I really like the pots. I'm used to gardening in pots, so I could sort of pick this up straight away, I think.
What do you think the asking price is?
Well, the figure that's been in my mind is £380. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
£380,000.
Yeah.
OK. Amanda?
I'm going with 369,950.
So you're both below your top budget of £400,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
The asking price for this cottage is £327,500.
Very interesting.
That is interesting because I think if I bought this, there's a couple of things
Yeah.
I'd like to remodel, and that would give me the budget to do that.
So why don't you take another look around and, well, find me when you've had enough.
OK.
When you're ready to go.
All
After
right,
you.
thank you.
A very significant £72,500 below Anne's maximum budget, this characterful cottage may not offer the loft-style living she's accustomed to, but it does have a surprisingly spacious living room and kitchen diner, as well as 3 good-sized bedrooms, all with the light, airy feel she loves. It doesn't have a lot of outside space, but there's fabulous walking to be had pretty much on its doorstep.
I was quite intrigued when I saw the property for the first time outside, and it wasn't really what I was expecting, but it had a nice character to it, and I think, you know, I was pleasantly surprised when I came inside.
Oh, this is sweet.
Yeah, this is quite a nice room.
It's gorgeous.
This might
It's
make
quite-
a nice little officey room.
Yes, because it's quite good use of the bed, but you
Yeah.
could have a desk there instead. I really like the property. I do honestly think it needs a little bit of work, but given the budget that she's got and given the price that we understand the property is on at, then that gives her a lot of scope for improvement.
I like the property a lot. I've got one concern particularly about the outside, the fact that there isn't much privacy in the garden. And in London, although I have quite a small terrace, it's 5 floors up and it's very private. So the thought of giving up that privacy would be something I'd have to think about.
Right, girls, have we seen enough?
Yes, I think so.
First property, good reactions, under budget.
Very positive start.
Let's see what else we've got in store for you.
Okay.
Come on.
From the 16th century, for many East Devon settlements, lace making was an important cottage industry, fuelled by a growing demand from the wealthy, fashionable London set, who wore it on collars and cuffs as a way to convey status and prestige. Situated on the main road to London, the town of Honiton became the largest producer, so the extremely fine threadwork made throughout the area became known as Honiton lace. The advent of machine-made lace saw the industry die out, but at Honiton's All Hallows Museum, the age-old tradition is being kept alive through weekly lace-making lessons. Fashion graduate Anne has a keen interest in textiles, so she and Amanda are meeting Pat Perryman, who is chair of the museum and has been teaching Honiton lace-making for almost 50 years.
Welcome to our wonderful Honiton Lace Museum and the best collection of Honiton lace in the world.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Honiton lace is what we call a motif lace. So if you want to make a large piece like a wedding veil, you make it in all separate pieces and it's all joined together.
In the 19th century, when the local lace industry was beginning to falter, a very influential royal breathed new life into the business and ignited a whole new fashion trend after she commissioned several ceremonial garments.
When Queen Victoria got married in a Honiton lace wedding dress in 1839, she started what we now know as the bridal outfit, really.
Oh, really?
Because before that, you know, you got married in those days in your best dress, but she started the fashion that's still going today.
Then, when she took to wearing only black after the death of her beloved Albert, Honiton artisans were inundated with orders for black lace adornments from wealthy aristocrats eager to emulate their queen.
And in about 1870s to 1880s, there was about 2,000 lace makers in Honiton. And Honiton's population was not much more than 4,000.
Wow.
Since Pat embraces ancient technique in the 1960s, she's taught both here and abroad. And last year she was awarded the British Empire Medal for services to the heritage of lace. So who better for Anne and Amanda to receive some expert tuition from?
So you take 2 pairs of bobbins. The bobbin number 2 goes first. Those 2 come that way. And that one comes that way, and that's a stitch. 1, 2, 3. We say if you can count to 3, you can do it.
Fascinating.
Like a little dance.
Absolutely. Somebody referred to it as maple dancing, maple dancing with bobbins.
Making Honiton lace is a bit like weaving on a miniature scale, the loom being made from pins poked into a pattern on a straw pillow. The fine threads held on the bobbins are woven back and forth to build up the pattern.
It's incredible.
Do you ever forget where you are?
Not really.
And it's a very time-consuming process. To create 1 square centimetre can take around 5 hours.
What are you making there?
This is a dragonfly on here.
Did you design that yourself?
And how long is it going to take to
Oh,
make that?
you're looking at 45, 50 hours maybe. Right, so don't forget, number 2 bobbin goes first.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Don't worry. People often ask, can you undo it? Well, the answer is yes, you can.
That's good, because somebody's going to need to have a go at this.
Yeah.
It clearly takes more than 1 lesson to get to grips with this intricate art form, but if Anne moves to the area, she knows where to come to develop her skills. Journeying 5.5 miles south, we reach the little village of Blackawton, the second stop on our search. Just over a 15-minute drive away is Totnes, the town that Anne is particularly keen on. It lies on the west bank of the River Dart, where there's still a working port and has a great community spirit. In 2007, it introduced its own alternative currency as a way to support the local economy. 7.5 miles away is our second property, which has a tiny community of its own. It's a barn conversion which is set amongst a cluster of other dwellings that were also once working farm buildings. I can't see your faces.
I'm smiling, I'm smiling.
I'm
yes.
grinning.
You're loving this beautifully landscaped courtyard,
I do.
which brings us up to our second property.
This is looking very promising. I
Yeah.
love the fact that there are more houses than just one here, so there's a little community.
There's 7 in total. The barns date back to about the 1800s, but this whole plot was developed in 2006.
Right, so quite modern then.
Yes.
And it comes with a garage, I'm guessing.
It does come with a garage.
Cool.
And 7 acres of land.
Wow.
You do have to share it. You've got 7 neighbours, but you are surrounded by countryside here.
Fantastic.
Okay, I can tell you're both really energised, aren't you? Look at that smile. How can I resist? Let's go. Well, we've got off to an excellent start with this house, and I feel quietly confident that things will continue in the same positive manner once we venture inside. So I brought you through the back door because we are in the country and that seems to be the norm. And you walk into this splendid kitchen, would it be fair to say?
Yeah, I like the look of this kitchen. It's gorgeous.
Modern,
Very
clean
nice.
lines.
It's beautiful.
Ready
Perfect.
to move into.
Yeah, very much so.
You wouldn't need to do a thing, would you?
No.
No, except unpack.
It's got such a lovely feeling the minute you walk in.
You both had a very good vibe outside.
Instantly.
It feels like a home away from home.
So we're loving the kitchen. Here we've got, I'm going to call it our first sitting room.
Oh.
Because I'm going to take you through here and show you a little bit more. There's an additional sitting room, come study, here.
This would make a great sort of studio workroom, wouldn't it? I really like the space. I like the way it's so clean and open, very practical, very flexible.
So you probably wouldn't change this, you'd leave it as it is?
I would, because you can literally close the door on work and then
Yeah.
go and enjoy yourself next door,
Yeah.
which would be brilliant.
Amanda, come on, what do you think?
No, I think it's fantastic. Gorgeous, ready to move into. OK, I'll help you pack.
You could always bring Amanda with you.
Anytime.
Always bring Amanda with you when we're looking at properties. She knows.
You've got an open invitation all year round.
Thank you.
Upstairs, there's an immaculate family bathroom, which should suit Anne's preference for contemporary decor. There's also a generous guest bedroom with a large skylight that lets the sun pour in, and then there's the equally light and bright master bedroom.
Oh, my goodness.
So we have a large set of inbuilt wardrobes there, some more here, plus an ensuite.
Lovely.
And what do you think about the size?
It's lovely. It's really lovely. Again, you could just move straight in and it's light, it's airy, it's clean, it's got a lovely, nice sort of solidity to it. I'm impressed.
Yes. Yes. Amanda,
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's lovely.
we've got a little find here, haven't we? Let's step outside. There's one final part of the jigsaw to take care of, isn't there, ladies?
Yes.
Money. Come on. As well as the shared space outside, which includes the lovely planted courtyard we entered from, the house also has its own private patio area, which comes off the sitting room and a beautiful secluded garden.
It's a very nice garden.
Not only does it have this, but that view behind you,
It's gorgeous. Really lovely view.
the paddock behind us, that is included.
Wow.
Now, you're used to having neighbours
Yes.
very close by to you, but it's not too bad here, is it?
No, I mean, there's huge amounts of privacy with the garden and actually just enough local life around you here so that you don't feel too remote, which is good.
Is this part of the dream?
Yes.
Are we getting close?
Yes.
Amanda?
I think she just woke up. I think this is it. I
And
do.
you said Amanda was a good gauge, that she would know if a property was right for you.
Well, what do you think, Amanda?
I think it's got your name on it.
Oh, how much do you think the asking price is?
Well, I would say I think it's on the market for about £399,000. Just literally...
Just
within-
under your
yeah,
budget.
Yeah.
Amanda?
I'm going with 389.
Amanda is closest.
Really?
Again, the asking price is £375,000.
Wow. That is very compelling. I'm going to have to think quite seriously about this.
Go and have another look. See if you can visualise yourself living in there full time. I think I can. Off you go.
Thank you.
£25,000 below Anne's maximum budget, this beautifully converted barn gives her the open, flexible space she loves, as well as the clean-lined contemporary decor. It includes a really spacious kitchen diner. Upstairs there are 2 bedrooms, and there's a 3rd potential bedroom downstairs, which is currently being used as an office. Outside, as well as 7 acres of shared land, there's a private garden with extraordinary views.
Oh, this is gorgeous.
This is another nice room, isn't it? Hard not to like it. As soon as I saw this property, I thought, well, we might be onto something here because the brickwork is gorgeous. It's quite old. You can get that sense of it. But inside, it's really well done too. So it's got the modern and it's got the established building, you know, very rural. And I like that combination.
I think this property suits Anne down to the ground. When we thought about what she would want and what she was looking for, this absolutely does it.
Smiling face is always a good sign.
Yes, it is.
So are we ending today on a high?
I think so.
I'd say so, yeah,
Yeah?
definitely.
Yeah, definitely hits the spot.
Good. I have to drag you away now. That's it. More tomorrow. Come on.
It's the 2nd day of our property search here in Devon, and with a budget of £400,000, Anne, with the help of her friend Amanda, is hoping to find a home that pretty much has everything her current East London loft apartment offers, but in a tranquil rural setting. Coming up, our mystery house delivers 1 or 2 surprises.
That's
No way.
incredible.
No way.
And I learned some ancient tanning techniques at a one-of-a-kind family business.
Oh, God, it's heavy.
Yesterday, we showed Anne and her friend Amanda 2 properties, and they were surprised, pleasantly surprised at the price, and both seemed very smitten with our barn conversion, which really puts the pressure on our 3rd property, because today it's time for our mystery house, and this one's a real gem. Now, Anne said she wants to take the best of her city dwelling and transport it to the countryside. Well, some might say that's a tall order, but with our mystery house, I think we may have achieved it. Our final destination takes us from South Devon into East Devon to the village of Wilmington, which is about an hour's drive from Totnes. The nearest town, just over 3 miles away, is Honiton. Aside from its lace-making heritage, this appealing centre is one of the main shopping hubs for East Devon and is well known for its array of antique shops which attracts collectors from all over the country. Our mystery house is just a short drive from the town, but before I show Anne and Amanda the actual property, there's something I'd like them to see first.
So I brought you to show you this property, but it's not what it seems. Intrigued?
Yeah.
Any ideas what the mystery might be?
Not a clue.
I like it when this happens. OK, well, this isn't your mystery house.
No.
But it is part of the mystery tour. See that green door there?
Yeah.
Follow me.
Okay.
Although this fabulous Grade 2 listed Georgian mansion isn't the mystery house, it is closely connected to it, and inside there are some features that I think Anne might find rather appealing.
Now, how important are your creature comforts to you?
Highly important. This is great. This is wonderful.
Bit of a surprise?
This could be home from home.
Gym's next door. Pool, jacuzzi, steam room, sauna.
Perfect.
All within this one building.
I really like this.
How close do you think the mystery house is?
I'm hoping it's very convenient.
Should we take a look, you two? Come on.
The mansion house was built in 1830 as a home for a wealthy local landowner, but around 35 years ago it was developed into a hotel and buildings were added to the back of the property to house extra guest facilities. And that's where we're heading now, because one of those buildings happens to be the home we're hoping to tempt Anne with.
So through the garden gate to our mystery house.
Okay.
In total, there are 31 houses stroke apartments
Okay.
in this whole place.
Right.
All in about 10 acres of communal grounds.
Wow.
Looked after, so you don't have to go gardening. But what is wonderful about this apartment is that it has its own garden,
Yeah, it's a nice sized garden.
plus 2 parking spaces just
Oh,
by your gate.
perfect. And views as well.
And spectacular views. Your apartment is
upstairs.
Right.
It's a wonderful property. I can't wait to take you inside. Shall we start?
Yes, please.
When this place stopped functioning as a hotel in the late 1990s, it was divided up and converted into the private apartments we can see today. And the one that we're hoping Anne might call home used to be the hotel restaurant.
Wow, it's wide and open.
Oh, my goodness.
I can hear great comments behind me, but step in here.
Oh, what a lovely room.
Wow.
This is gorgeous.
Who'd have known?
You've got such a fantastic view. It's a studio type of space, which is what I really like about it. It's got the antiquity of the building, but then it's got this lovely studio vibe as well. So it's a brilliant combination.
Who'd like to see a little bit more?
Yes.
The all-important kitchen with an extremely high ceiling.
Fabulous.
It's great. It's got everything by the looks of it, pretty much. It's a nice layout. You could do a lot of creative cookery in here. It's more than a property, it's a lifestyle, kind of ready-made.
We're getting close, aren't we, Amanda?
Very close.
I thought we did well yesterday with the barn conversion, but going on their reactions today, I'm thinking this place might just end up surpassing it. And I have a feeling the room I'm about to show them could help tip the balance. And if that sitting room wasn't enough for you, we've also got up here.
Wow.
Oh, my word. It's like being in a lighthouse.
Yes.
I really like that. And actually, you know, the thing that's really speaking to me right now is the fact that it's galleried.
Yeah.
Because that's what I'm used to.
Yeah.
And to be able to see over and have that openness of space, it feels great, actually. Yeah, really nice.
Oh, you do like, I can hear. I can hear the emotion. Amanda, what feeling does it give you?
It just feels really, really bang on right. Beautiful space, beautiful space. You can't not like it.
Well, let's crack on. Deep breath. Bedrooms next.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Amanda, if you wouldn't mind leading the way. Back down on the first floor of this very uniquely shaped property is where most of the accommodation is located. Next to the large living space we looked at earlier is where the 2 bedrooms can be found. One of those is a very generous guest room with the same wraparound sunlight we've seen in the rest of the apartment, and next to that is the family bathroom. The other bedroom is the master, which is where we're headed now.
Oh, my goodness.
I love you two, because as I walk through the door, I can hear, ooh, ow, oh my goodness.
I thought that room was nice, but this is really good.
Oh, there's a balcony.
So I take it that you both like this room?
Oh, it's just beautiful.
It's just such a beautiful feeling in this room.
Plenty of storage. We've also got an ensuite bathroom.
London's suddenly feeling really passé.
Good.
So nice.
Good. Why don't we go back downstairs into your garden? You see, I've already called it yours, because there is one more thing that we do have to discuss. Money. After you.
OK.
Outside in the 10 acres of managed grounds, there are beautiful formal gardens and some wonderful wooded areas, which I'm told are regularly visited by deer. So I brought you around to this side. This is the communal part, and also you can see the mystery house from a different angle. Look at those wonderful balconies.
It's a lovely courtyard, this, isn't it?
It feels quite regal.
Yes, it does. I love the serenity of this place, the environment. It's got a certain Italian feeling to it.
So for the final time, we've got to guess the price for the mystery house.
Am I going first?
Yeah, you've been right both times so far, so I'll follow your lead.
I'm going to guess 398,000.
Right.
Well, I said to myself, if it was under 400, I'd be amazed. So I'm going to say 415.
The good news is, it is under your budget.
How much is it?
£335,000.
That's
No way.
incredible.
No way. Even I feel emotional now.
I'm just completely gobsmacked.
And there are tears. In a good way.
Yes, yes.
It's come as a bit of a surprise. You can dry your eyes. Go and have another look around. Do take your time and give me a shout when you're ready.
OK.
OK.
Thanks, girls.
Thanks.
You don't want to get your hopes up because you never know what people's reactions are going to be. But this property, this mystery house, is absolutely perfect for Anne. It gives her everything she wants with this move. This wonderfully unique apartment is, to use Anne's words, a gobsmacking £65,000 below her maximum budget, and it manages to fulfil pretty much every requirement of her rather challenging brief. It has 2 spacious, flexible living rooms and 2 large bedrooms, both with their own balconies. There's all-day sun, 360-degree views, and a private garden. Last but not least are those all-important leisure facilities, just a very short stroll across the grounds.
I wasn't expecting to find a place like this. The woodland setting is gorgeous, it's very tranquil. I love the Italian nature of the courtyard setting and the balcony. Look at this. Can you imagine just relaxing, just taking in all of this?
It's like being on holiday.
And I would really describe this as pretty close to my ideal in terms of something in the country that's comparable to what I've been living in London.
I would give this property absolutely 10 out of 10. The proportions, the spaciousness, the light, everything about it I thought is completely spectacular. And I'm really, really happy that Nicki showed it to us.
I feel a little bit mean dragging you away.
Well, I might be coming back.
Yeah? I should be handing you the keys, perhaps. But on that note, let's go somewhere we can sit down. We can talk about the merits of the Mystery House and the other properties that you've seen as well. Come on.
In the mid-1800s, Devon was one of the largest leather production centres in England, with well over 100 tan yards operating throughout the county. A vital ingredient used in the tanning process at that time was oak bark, but at the end of the 19th century, chemical alternatives were introduced that speeded up the process, and many of the traditional tanners were forced to close down. One resilient family in Collerton, East Devon, however, managed to hang on to the tried and true methods and have been practicing them for 150 years. Today, they're the only remaining oak bark tannery in Britain. Current manager of the business is 5th-generation family member Andrew Parr.
Andrew, good to meet you. Thank you for inviting us to your tannery, which is enormous. But can you explain what exactly is a tannery?
Yes, I mean, tanning is the process of converting a raw material, a hide in this case, from a raw material which will putrefy and go off into leather. So it then, once it's converted into leather, it can't revert to the raw state. I mean, we're using oak bark, which is our main process.
So it's the oak bark that's, well, I suppose it's the magic ingredient.
It's where the tanning comes from. Very much like making tea, we're soaking the tan out of the bark, and that tan is unique. So if you have a chestnut or mimosa, each tan is slightly different and it produces a different type of leather. And the oak bark produces a light-weighing leather, but it's very strong and it's very hard-wearing.
Andrew's introducing me to just a tiny glimpse of what's involved here because from start to finish, oak bark tanning takes 15 months and involves as many as 26 different processes.
This is a coppice, and it's a bit like a weed. You cut it and it'll regrow from the stool, and 15, 20 years later you can go back and cut it again.
So it's all sustainable then?
Yeah, it's all sustainable. The tannin is mostly in the outside of the bark, and that is actually protecting the tree, because the tannin is a tannic acid, and that preserves the tree from infections.
Since the family bought the tannery in 1862, many of the production methods have remained the same, including the grinding of the bark, which is still carried out using a water wheel.
You've got these teas running here. You've got to be a bit careful not to put your hand in.
Right.
Once the bark is ground, it's steeped in pits of cold water to leach out the tannin. The tannin-filled water, known as liquor, is what is then used to soak the hides in, and this all happens in the tan yard, where today Alan and Dan are carrying out a process known as dusting.
Doesn't look like dusting which I do at home.
No, it isn't quite the same.
They're layering hides that have already been soaking for 6 months on top of each other, adding fresh bark between each layer to ensure even coverage.
The modern techniques that we're more used to today, for example, perhaps, you know, the belt that I'm wearing here, this will be done with chemicals, I'm presuming, rather than...
which takes about 3 weeks to a month.
That's the difference. So
Yeah.
yours takes 15 months in total.
Total, yeah.
My belt might have taken a month, but it's obviously worth it.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah, because it's the extra strength you get from tanning them slowly.
And it's this strength that has made the leather much sought after by manufacturers of high-end equestrian products. And fittingly, I'm finishing my tannery tour by helping Malcolm here stain some tanned leather that is destined to be made into horse bridles.
This is a valuable piece of leather. I'm not going to ruin it, am I?
No, it's not just the one stain. I stain this 4 times.
So if I come back to Devon in, say, 20 years' time and I see someone riding down a country lane, that might be my bridle that I've helped create.
Every possibility of that.
Malcolm, thank you very much indeed.
That's all right, you're most welcome.
So that all went rather well. We even got tears from Anne on our mystery property. But will she be putting in an offer? Let's find out. So, Anne, the dream was to leave the Big Smoke and to move to Devon. Are we still on track?
Definitely. If anything, I think I found more in Devon than I thought would be here.
And has anything changed for you, Amanda? You know, we brought you along, quality control. Can you see her living here now?
Absolutely. I couldn't before as clearly as I wanted to, but now that we've been here for 3 days, yes, absolutely.
Sounding very good, very positive. We did show you 3 splendid properties, if I don't mind saying so myself, but I think with a couple of them, you got quite a reaction from the 2 of you.
I think the second and the third ones, the mystery one particularly, both of those really got my mind whirring in a way I'd hoped for, but I wasn't really expecting, actually.
Because we got tears, didn't we? Was that because you were overcome with looking around the property, or was it that your dream was going to be finally realised?
It becomes very, very much a prospect. You think, oh, my goodness, this could happen. And you connect, you connect with a life, what it might feel like being there. And, yeah, it was quite an experience, really.
Do we have a favourite out of the 2?
I think the mystery house was really something else. It was unconventional, it had lots of space, it was a beautiful setting, and I was very taken with it.
So what happens next?
The settings in the second and the third were both lovely, and what I need to do now is get to find out more about the local area for each, just picture myself in the surroundings, do a little bit more homework.
So what I'm hoping to hear is that you're going to go back and take another
I'm
look.
going to stay down a little bit longer and just have another look.
Are you?
Yes, yes.
Go for a second viewing of the mystery?
Yes.
Well, all the very best. I'm going to say you've brought a fantastic friend along with you. Thank you so much, Amanda. And Anne, we hope you're very happy here in Devon, because I know you're going to be making that move.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let us know how you get on.
I will.
We're going to come to the housewarming, aren't we?
Yes.
Definitely.
Oh, I really thought we'd secured a sale here in Devon with our mystery house. We even had tears. But I must admit, I don't blame Anne for wanting to do just that little bit more homework and really get to know the Honiton area before she's ready to commit. I just hope this part of the region delivers as much as our mystery house did, because for me, they're made for each other. I'll see you again. Bye-bye.
Anne is still very interested in the mystery house and plans to return for a second viewing very soon. If you would like to escape to the country in Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland or England and would like our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.